welcome to Apex Online Racing A1 on the PS4. We move on to round 16, which is in Russia. I am Volley3791 and today I'm joined yet again by Tamd. Tamd, how are you today, sir?
I'm very well, thank you very much. So, here we are then, with a very clear sky, I have to say, here at the Sochi Autodrome in Russia, built around the Sochi 2014 Olympic Park. So, these guys now, got 16 drivers, not bad. Certainly a decent amount of drivers to tackle this circuit there. Is going to give them a good challenge and hopefully provide us with some excellent racing.
So last time out in Singapore, Energetics made it back-to-back wins. That is 2 wins on the trot for the Dutch driver and moved into 4th place in the championship. And this is where it's going to get a bit interesting today because both Harry and Vettelfan aren't racing. So Energetics does have a 22-point gap to Larkin, and there's going to be a bit of room for manoeuvre there. May find himself up to 2nd if Larkin continues this run of form where he's finished 15 out of 15 races. You know, again, incredible form, consistency throughout. So he does have a 13-point championship lead over Harry. Vettel 8 points further down, and Energetics 1 point behind. J. Cole, the Force India teammate, is 5th. Today, just joining Jeroen Hagenes on board. He's the first car out in the Sauber, the number 99 driver. And I am going to do something a bit different today because last week you called me boring, Tamd, when I made this call. So I'm gonna call.
What? I didn't say that. Nah.
I'm gonna call qualifying in the race now. So I'm gonna say Energetics again will be on pole, but I think Larkin will win today.
Well, just for reference for you watching, for you guys in the stream, I didn't say it was boring specifically. Okay. He's just trying to make something out of nothing here. Anyway, we've got Jeroen Hagenes now starting off in his lap. The Sauber Dutch driver now rounding the kink at turn 1 now, coming up towards the first major braking zone at turn 2. Heavy braking there, down, drops it into 2nd gear, right onto the outside curve. It's very strict with the validation, so he does have to be careful. Sweeps it round along turn 3 now. And at the end of the first sector, he's trying to run it back onto that racing line. He's actually put it down into none on the ARS, so I'm not sure if he's invalidated that lap. Just looking around for others on the track. We've got Willow Wolves. I've just managed to get hold of the Red Bull driver coming down into turn 2 on the brakes there in 4th gear. A little curve on the inside. But yeah, we've got drivers running around. We've got V5 about to start a lap on the soft tyres, so it's going to be a decent mix of tyre choice, I believe. If if these drivers decide to go on the hypersoft tyres, we should be seeing pole times in the low to mid 30s. We'll see how these guys are able to get on.
What do you think the strategy is going to be today? I was watching the European F1 stream earlier, and you know, a lot of drivers obviously went for the hypers. I think there was one who went on the ultras for his qualifying. And the fastest lap was a 1:29.4. I mean, you're looking at the high 1:29s, low 1:30s today for a pole position.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that. I think high 29s, we could be seeing that, but we'd have to put in a very good lap, certainly. But yeah, if these guys go on the hypersoft tyres, then we should be seeing them. There's a couple of options they can go. They can pit early, around about lap 5 or 6 of the 27-lap race, and put on the soft tyres. There's no super soft compound here, but you can put on the softs and take them all the way to the end of the race, so it should be an easy one stop. Or you can opt to try and take them a little bit longer to lap 8, 9, 10, 11, and put on the ultra soft tyres. So there's a couple of different strategies you can run. You can also try the ultras in quali, even though it's going to sacrifice your grip position. Yes. First lap on the board at 30.8, that's not a bad banker to be fair, and it's going to be a decent mark for the rest of the drivers to chase.
So we join Larkin, who moves on to his fast lap. He's the championship leader. I think he's actually just behind Jos on track, under heavy braking with a right hand turn in, a quick left flick. This is now part where it is like a horseshoe, so a long sweeping left hander. And we saw a couple of good moves in real F1 actually. It was Hamilton went around the outside of Vettel there after he was a bit angry when he felt Vettel blocked him off at the start. Jos moves out of the way to let Larkin through. Larkin is fitted the hyper softs and accelerates out. ERS is flowing. We've got yellow flags, but I think that is just for the slow-moving Haas. And J. Cole goes into second place, 1:31.4. Sebster and V5 also made laps, but they are on a harder compound of tyre to what you're set on the 1:30.8. So Larkin just coming to the back end now of sector 2.
Larkin now approaching this very tricky final sector. There's a lot of very difficult traction zones here. It's very slow corner here. You've got to try and open it up. Attack this. Don't try not to run out onto that curve. It will drag you wide. Now coming down into the chicane here. Try and stay as far to the left as you can. Open up this corner. Really attack it there. Sorry about just saying this corner. I'm not very familiar with the names of the corners here and the numbers of the corners. But anyway, here he comes now. Around the final turn. Up to the line there. And he does a 131 dead, I believe. So he's just behind that Haas of Yoss, who has put in a very solid banker lap. Of course, Jekyll, as you mentioned, going P3 on the Ultras. So, given that he is on those Ultra Soft tyres, you've got to say that his pace is looking strong here, as he has shown in the last few races, but hasn't been able to convert it into top results. We'll see if that will change today. Jekyll currently sitting P3 there. Yoss still in pole position, just over 6 minutes into this qualifying session.
Fantastic. So Tiggerby, who's in the Ferrari, is one of the reserve drivers who's making his debut this season, and he has just come onto a lap. He's got the ERS in full flow, full-time mode. A lot of curb there. You know, like you said, we're going to be very strict with invalidating lap times, so drivers do have to be careful. You know, don't want to get onto rumble strip too much, put too many wheels over the line, and that will invalidate your lap. But he's still got his ERS flowing, so it looks like he's got away with that little excursion there. Number 69 on the Ferrari. Ooh, just loses the back end just a little bit there, but keeps the car moving forward. I am also one of those who aren't familiar with the names of the corners, so do bear with us today. There'll be no improvement for me there, but we'll watch as he comes for this left-hander now. DRS wing will be active now. Rear wing is open, so it's full attack mode for Tiggerby. Just got a little bit of ERS he could use, he could crank it up just a little bit. I think he's just making sure he's got enough for this lap as he tucks in and runs very wide. That could be the end of the lap. And he's still attacking, so he's still going for it. He wants to set a marker at least. You know, see where he fares against the regular A1 drivers. As we come round, now he ducks into the pits. He has backed out. So let's see if we've got any fast laps going. Is there anyone that you're watching?
I was on board with Tiggerby, but Gameaholic, the Cyberman, has just started his lap there. His teammate stays out the way as he comes out the pits. Now, big braking zone into turn 2. Take a lot of curb as he can on the inside. That was very nicely done through there. Just about kept it on the track. Now, sweeps around turn 3. There's a Toro Rosso V5 off to the side. Luckily, gets out the way very nicely. And now, coming down into the second sector. Got to try and open this up. Use as much of the track as you can. The curbs aren't really that unsettling at this track, so you can just go full out attack, which is one of the good things about this circuit, I believe. Now coming down into this very tricky section of corners, you've got to really attack every single one of them. Use as much of that racetrack as possible. That's a key part of driving this circuit at maximum potential. Really just got to use as much of the circuit as you can. Gets an exit now onto the back straight, coming down into the third sector, where very easily to mess up your lap here. And the Cyberman comes down into another big heavy braking zone. Very low speed corner there. Keeps it in third gear, and they're trying to keep as much traction as he can. Tries not to run into that curve too much. He just manages to avoid getting dragged off the circuit there as he comes down. He's trying to open this up as much as he can. He goes slightly off the track there. Hopefully it hasn't invalidated him. He's still going to go on the attack now into these last two corners there. Opens it up. There's a little bit of curb there on the entry. They could rotate him through and up to the line. He doesn't invalidate. It's 31.6 on the Ultras. 2 times behind Jake. Certainly not a bad lap by any means from the Cyberman.
It's a fantastic lap from Gameaholic. Moves into 5th position. Let's try and find someone. Yoss is back on track. I think it is an outlap. Yeah, it's an outlap, just rushing in the ERS. Got your own back on, and he's in attack mode, so we'll stay on board with the Cyberman. Scored a single point last time out in Singapore. He's taken his total to 10 for the season, so looking just to get a run of results now. You know, get a couple of points on the board, just give himself a bit of confidence heading into the break next week. But we will be back in a fortnight's time with the round 17, 25 races to go after this. So yeah, the championship is coming to a bit of a boiling point now. Really, you know, we've got to make results stick, and you know, like I said, with Harry and Vettel not racing today, there's just a little bit of opportunity for the drivers to make some encroachment up towards the top, as Johan has backed out. We'll just ride on board with V5. So V5 made his debut last week and came second in the Toro Rosso. It's a fantastic start to his career in A1. You know, we're looking to have a similar result today. He has got the Ultras on, so he's got a bit of a harder tyre. So I think he's just trying to set, you know, another banker lap, just get in the mix, and then he can always go for the hypers if he so wishes. But he's just coming through the final sectors now, the final few corners. Got about 6-7 seconds just to get to the end here, to try and get himself in the mix at the top. Currently stands in 10th position as he comes around the final corner, accelerates 1:31.2, and that puts him up to 4th place. That is a great effort on the Ultra Softs.
Yeah, fantastic lap from him there. 2/10 quicker than the next Ultra runner. Seviaste is also lap the Ultras of P6. They're just 10 behind the as to winning. Now watching ethics. We also can't expect he's a very good driver. He's in the championship. Down the back towards the 3rd sector of the lap. Again, as I've said earlier, so easy to just mess up a good lap here. Try and keep it nice and tight. Keeps it in 3rd gear. Around. And again, got to try and stay off the curb. He gets a very nice, clean exit there. Coming down into the chicane. Keeps it as far to the left as possible. Really open this up and get onto that exit curve. Now, he's derated there. So you see, he has run out of that ERS. So he's not quite going to have that extra bit of energy coming down these last few 2 corners now. Is he going to improve on his time? Yes, he does, a 30.3. That's a very, very impressive lap. And he's just set a marker down. Beat that, he says to the rest of the drivers. He also goes P1, almost 7/10 ahead of his next challenger, Larkin.
So Larkin is in the pits, so he'll be saving himself for one last push. Just see if there's any drivers on a lap. I wonder if Jarbo... I think Jarbo is on a lap, yes, and Jarbo has got the ERS flowing. He's not got a lot left, so he may have a similar position with Jos there, where he runs out towards the last couple of corners. So he needs to be just careful just to manage it as he comes round. But the McLaren driver is in full attack mode, trying to get up as high as he can. He made his debut last week and it didn't go to plan really. It was a DNF. So hopefully things will be better this time out for the McLaren driver. As he sweeps around, accelerates the line and takes P9. So Jabo P9 as it stands, but I think we're building up for another finale just as we've got just a little touch over 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this qualifying session as we join Tiggerby making his debut, and he moves on to a fast lap in the Ferrari. The Ferrari teammates 12th and 13th both to set a time. I think Tiggerby's on the Ultras as well, so this could be a strategic decision as it will be pushed for time to get back in and out. Or has he got the hypers? No, it is the Ultras on the Ferrari. So P13 as it stands as we sweep round to the left hand side. Got to keep the back end straight there as you turn, hard braking on the right hand side and accelerate out. ERS still in full flow. So it's again attack mode engaged here. Just a little bit wide, but he keeps the car heading in the right direction. Onto the rumble strip, so he ducks to the right hand side, keeps the speed up and accelerates out. Just keep an eye on the ERS flow. It's still in a full mode and he is starting to run a little bit low, so hopefully he's got enough, but he's looking like setting a decent lap time here. So move
He has.
Sorry, I'll let you take it, Tam.
Well, unfortunately he has backed off, so I'm not sure if he has invalidated that lap there. It's just a shame because I was watching him and it did look very solid. He was driving very aggressively, using a lot of the track. But he must have gone off the track at some point. Now, the 4-man Mr. Energetics coming around into the last couple of corners of the circuit there. trying to take as much of that inside curve and outside curve as he can. We're very close to the wall, just about able to keep it out. Now coming down into the final two corners, and takes it in fourth gear there, runs it out onto the curve, tries to get a decent run and a decent exit out the final corner. He goes just behind his teammate. The Haas is locking out the front row, way ahead of everyone else. Jos just 300ths of a second ahead of his teammate, and both these Haas drivers looking really, really impressive at the moment.
So Jos and Energetics take the front row as it stands, with the crescendo of laps I think to come in as I ride with Gamerholic. Gamerholic had some good pace early on. He's been in the pits, and I think this will be now his final attack, so he needs to keep this clean. Doesn't want to invalidate the lap as he again took a lot of curve there in corner 2, but it sweeps around to the left hand side. You can see the stadium which hosted the Winter Olympics on the right there through the halo. Power out, we've got yellows in sector 2 I think it is for a slow moving car. Sweep round, so gets the power down. ERS still in mode 3, so it's still flowing. I think they're just reserving just a little bit in the tank for the final few sectors. But Jos and Energetics have set the markers. Larkin in the Force India 3rd. Carl Rodriguez, now that is a really good lap. Who's put himself into 4th. So that's a really good for Mercedes driver, looking for his first points of the season. So that is a good little help there, you know, going into the race. And V5 is in P5. J-Col 6th, Sevi 7th, and this man on board now, Gameaholic in 8th. Rationing the RS, will he let it flow just for the last couple of corners? As we sweep onto the right hand side. Oh, very nearly lost it on the AstroTurf, but keeps the car going. Going around the last few corners now. Jos has exited some pits, so looks like Jos is going to go for one more lap. And Gameaholic goes 3rd. Fantastic lap there from the Sauber driver.
Yeah, very nicely done by him. I'm on board with Larkin. Of course, these guys all prepping and on their laps at the moment as we're in the late flurry. Energetics out the session, so he is not going to improve on that time, so he will not be on pole position for this race. And Larkin, I'm just seeing if he's weaving on the straight, he must have invalidated that lap. So he is going to start no higher than 4th and probably lower as we're watching now. I'm watching Rodriguez, he's setting up for his lap, has his V5, so these guys are all prepping and getting onto the laps now, and it's just a build-up of tension there as these guys now look to put their best possible laps in at the end of this session. Who's going to take pole position? Who's going to fill the top 3, top 5, top 10? We're going to get answers in just a couple of seconds' time. Let's see what's going to happen.
So down to the last few seconds of the session. The checkered flag will be waving shortly as drivers get onto their final laps, their final attempts. We will ride on board with Rodriguez. Like I said, Shape has finished actually, not set a time. So that is Shape starting from the lower end of the grid. But yeah, we'll join Rodriguez, as I said, 18th in the championship, yet to score a point. And he's currently in P5 as the Sauber's out of the way there to allow Carl through. He gets the hammer down. This is a good chance for the Mercedes driver to get some points on the board. And that'll do a world of good going for a bit of confidence into the latter stages of the season. Power comes down, DRS open, ERS flowing in the Mercedes. V5 retires from the session, he's happy with the 7th position there. Tiggerby sets a time of 1:32.3 on the Ultras, he'll have tyre choice unless it's a wet race. And he does run very wide onto the AstroTurf there. Extrema retires from the session, yet to set a lap as well. So last couple of corners for Rodriguez. Can he improve on a 1:31.0? Coming around the last corner now. This is going to be close. And he does. A 1:30.7 puts himself into 4th place. As we join.
Sofia goes P3.
Sevi P3. Larkin. It's going to be close as he comes to the final corner.
Ooh, does improve.
1:36 is an improvement, but that will settle today's qualifying session. Jos is in the pit, so Jos hasn't finished his lap, but he does take pole. It is a Haas lockout at the Sochi Autodrome. Jos and Energetics take the front row. Do the classifieds very soon, but I'll just ask Tand for his quick opinion there.
Yeah, really good laps from both of those Haas drivers, able to lock out the front row of the grid. He also ahead of energetic Sevi, just put a late lap to get up to P3, narrowly behind as well. And I think there were several drivers that didn't quite get the most out of themselves, mainly because of the track limits. But V5 and Jaco, they're going to be ones to watch on the ultra soft tires. So we'll see if they're able to move forward in the race. So they're P8 and 9, and those guys outside the top 10. Also, I'm expecting to probably go in the Ultra Soft as a better race tire than the Hypers, so it's going to be very interesting. Let's get it underway. This is the Russian Grand Prix, underway shortly.
So this is where the qualifying comes into effect and they start on the grid. There's no grid penalties to report. There was a couple of stewards' inquiries from the last race. Sebster and Carl Rodriguez, 10 penalty points for leaving the session early, so that's something that I'm sure they won't be doing again. And Shape got a 10-second penalty and 10 penalty points for causing a moderate avoidable collision, which I think we did pick up on the stream as well, including, I believe it was Energetics in that one. But
it was I believe the other Haas of Yos, I believe, that got caught up in that incident.
I knew it was a Haas.
Fighting for...
I wasn't far off.
Yep.
So as the drivers make their choices for their car setups and their tyres and their pit stops, I'm going to crack open a can just there, which is a high MFP. It's the green, it's the Max Energy. This is going to be my drink for today. This is the third selection that I've had in the 3 streams. Definitely recommend going on Amazon to purchase yours as we move on to the formation lap. So I'm going to turn to you, Tam, as I've made my prediction of Larkin. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I'm going to throw one, well, not really outlandish to be honest, but I'm going to say Sevi. He did look so impressive in terms of race pace in Monza. He's been getting quicker and quicker as the season has went on, so I think he's going to be really one to watch there. Of course, he arguably should have won that Italian. I'm going to say he would take victory, but anything can happen. We know how close these guys are on pace, so I'm really excited to get this one away. The Haas, though, that is going to be a tough formation to break. The question on my lips is, will they fight each other, or will they do what Force India tried to do in Monza, run in formation? The answers are going to come to us once these guys complete the formation lap and the lights go out. That we're going to see very shortly there. Also on pole, Energetics alongside him, with a pack of 16 drivers all ready to go here for the Russian Grand Prix.
So we talk a lot about the Drivers' Championship. Let's turn to the Constructors. So Force India do have the lead with 320 points. 55 behind is the Toro Rosso, and a couple of points behind them is the Haas. So Haas have a 57-point deficit, and by starting 1 and 2, and the Force India is in 4th and 9th, there is a big chance here and a big opportunity to close that gap. You know, and try and bring the Constructors' Championship home. But yeah, I do think there will be a battle. I mean, when you're that close, I mean, as the qualifying session was so tight, any of the drivers, you know, toward the top are in with a sniff here, definitely. Larkin, I think, might be a little bit anxious. You know, he's got this finishing streak, 15 races, and he's not on the front row, so he's got a little bit of battling. He might come under pressure from behind Rodriguez. You know, it's a good qualifying session for him. He might, you know, feel a bit brave going into the first corner, as it is a long sweeping straight, a little bit to the right hand side to get the race going. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting, as you touched on, for J. Cole starting in 9th with V5. You know, V5's clearly got the pace, you know, coming P2 last race. It's going to be a very interesting race, looking clear so far. Do you know if there's any signs of rain? Has anyone mentioned it in the comments, or are we looking at a dry race today?
I don't believe so, so I think we're just going to assume that it's going to be a dry race there. The Austin Energetics will line up the front row of the grid. Let's get it underway.
So 5 lights. And we are racing in Russia. Let's get on board with Yosh just to get a better camera angle. And Energetics are side by side. Coming down into one. Oh, got a big crash at the back. That's Evolution in the Red Bull. He went flying into the wall there, and that is the end of his race, unfortunately, as the Renaults go wide, so do the Saubers. But Jos pulls away. Now Energetics under pressure from Sevi, and Sevi with a sweeping move on the inside. But Energetics responds, and there's contact. Rodriguez and Sevi, and this is going to open the door for the Force Indias. They're going to start to go on the attack now.
Oh!
There's a bit more contact. This is so close. J. Cole and Larkin have closed the gap. But there's a bit of contact here and there. Evolution is out of the race as we just start to settle down. But Sebster having a little battle with Rodriguez. And Tiggerby and Gamerholic doing a bit of battle. Tiggerby's making a few moves. I'm going to have to ask you to take the lead here because I'm out of breath.
Well, I tell you what, that was an absolutely dream start for J. Cole, already up into P4 on the opening lap, taking advantage of some of the carnage there. Sebster sweeps around to the Mercedes of Rodriguez, who got caught up in some incidents down at turn 4 there. They got cars off the track there. Extrema able to fight his way past Jeroen Hagney. He's got Willow Wolves on the back of him. Rodriguez gets through on Sebster, and so does Tiggerby, moves through on Gamerholic. These guys racing so hard in these opening few laps there, and we've got Gamerholic and side by side with Tiggerby, gets forced off the road by the Ferrari, and he's got, oh, he may have been hit there by V5. He's getting caught up in this midfield scrap. He's got Extrema now up alongside him. Willow Wolves swapping places with Jeroen Hagney. This, as he said earlier, these guys just racing so hard here. Sebster chasing down the Mercedes of Rodriguez. Goes very defensive into turn 1, and now is it, oh, I'm not really settled down because we've got V5 and Extrema going side by side. I'll let you take it away here.
So I am on board with the battle between Tiggerby and Sebster, and they are closing on Rodriguez. So this battle's early on all over. Ooh, just a little bit of a back end stepping out there, but it does keep the car moving forward, and Tiggerby holds position so he can now chase Rodriguez. This is incredibly close. Let's have a look at J. Cole though. J. Cole having a look at the inside of Sevi. Sevi just a little bit out of position now. J. Cole started 9th, he's already up to 4th. In front of his teammate Larkin as well, so that is a really impressive start for the Force India driver. Sells the dummy, comes down the inside of Sevi into 3rd place. Can Sevi respond? Side by side. And also as well, I've noticed J. Cole's on the Ultras. He's fighting like this and he's on the harder tyre. So this is a really impressive speed, but Sevi now comes back on him on the inside. Oh, it's close, there's nearly a little bit of contact. And this is opening the door for Larkin. So Larkin's starting to have a sniff at J. Cole. Jeroen gets 3-second time penalty. So Larkin now on the back of J. Cole, who is incredibly close to Sevi, as the Haas seem to start to pull away just a little bit. They're starting to open a little bit of a gap. Now Extreme has gone into the pit, so they must have a little bit of damage there. But Tiggerby, just a little bit further back now, is having a look at Rodriguez. So Tiggerby trying to get up into 6th place as J. Cole and Sevi do battle again. I'm going to have to hand it over to you again, just so I can get my breath.
Tiggerby was forced out wide with Rodriguez. Got Gamerholic and Sebster are both taking advantage of that. Up into P7 and 8 as they are around. We've got Gamerholic around the outside of Sebster, able to hold on, and they've got Rodriguez now battling away. He's lost out in that sequence of events. He's got Sebster all over the back, and Tiggerby has been freed up though to try and chase down that group for the podium, now led by J. Cole as he moved past Sevi going into turn 1. And one thing I've got to mention here is that those Hypersoft tyres that some of the front runners are on, they do go off very quickly, and they do really pick up tyre temperature very quickly. So that's the issue that Sevi, Larkin, Energetics, Yos are all going to have, but J. Cole, isn't going to have. So if he's able to just stay ahead of Sevi for these next few laps, he's in a golden position here to challenge the top guys.
There must be an incident because Extreme has been in the pits, he's come out and there's now DNF with yellows in sector 1. No safety car, no VSC, so it's still full speed ahead as we start to race through the last couple of corners. Lots of cars, wing to wing as we come through. So the Haas have opened up just a little bit of a gap. 2.7 separates Energetics and J. Cole, but this is where the battles start, and they continue pretty much all the way down the grid. Everyone seems to have got a dance partner for today's race. We're only on lap 4 of 27, but J. Cole has nearly used up all his ERS, so he is defending valiantly from Sevi, but Sevi has got a lot more in the tank, and he's picked up some DRS there. So this is close. Larkin in 5th position, he's dropped 1. He's got just under a second to Tiggerby, he's just crept over a second. Sebster is now on the attack of Rodriguez as they sweep round to the left hand side. Sebster in the Renault, so close to the back of Rodriguez, who's looking for his first points of the season. Wing to wing coming through that sector. Got a couple of cars on the softs, but they do find themselves the 12th, 13th and 14th drivers, and they are falling a little bit behind. So it doesn't look like the softs are up to temperature yet, not quite performing. So we just have a quick look at Larkin. So it looks like Larkin has got DRS on Sevi, but Sevi will get it off of J-Cole. So just a little bit to help defend. But now Larkin trying to close the gap as best he can as Sevi and J-Cole do battle again. They are side by side. And just a little bit of contact there. And this has opened up the door for Larkin. So Larkin tucks into 4th place in front of the Williams driver. And now we'll have a look at his teammate Larkin. J-Cole. Giron takes Jarbo just a little bit further back. Rodriguez a 3-second penalty. And now the Force India, so Haas 1 and 2, Force India 3 and 4. This is going to have huge implications in the constructors title, let alone in the drivers, as Energetics now will be jumping into 2nd position as it stands.
Larkin. V5, surprisingly, a very early pitter there, as we've got Larkin and Jaco doing battle down to make straight there, and it's all very late on the brakes. Larkin able to get it done as he gets Sevi now. He's had to go off the track to the friend from Tigamy, who manages to close up on this grip for the podium. The Force India side by side as well, going through. These guys racing so fiercely, going down into the 2nd sector. On the inside as Larkin forces Jaco off the track. There's contact as Tigamy goes round, and he's almost taken out to Sebster and gave a hole there. Rodriguez picks up a penalty. The Force India's still wheel to wheel, coming down, head to the middle of the track there. Larkin able to just about get in front, and these guys are being so detrimental to each other because they're now 5 seconds off of Energetics and P2, so these Haas guys have stayed out of trouble, and they've stayed out of all the battling, and it's just paid off. These guys now waltzing away with it.
So Haas are taking advantage of this battle that's going on behind and pulling away. We've just seen that Rodriguez has just dropped about 5 positions. So I wonder if there was a bit of an off-track excursion there, maybe picked up some damage. If you could just check Rodriguez. Tigamy definitely lost his front wing. He is still in the race. The race isn't over for him, but he is without a wing and he will have to pit. But we'll continue to watch this battle. Larkin, J-Cole, Sevi, and now Sebster. So Sebster's brought himself into the battle here. This is how much they're holding each other up, is that the cars behind are closing rapidly. You know, Tigamy closed a 2nd on the last lap, and now Sebster's caught this battle. So this is a huge fight that's going on. As Gamerholic gets a 5-second stop go. So that's not going to help. And we've got VSC, virtual safety car is deployed. Rodriguez is out, so he must have had damage and been struggling to get his car around. But all the cars will have to settle. You need to slow down. You don't want to be speeding under because that could really affect your race. But this could help Tigamy, as we've got 4 cars who have ducked into the pits.
Well, do you know how it has helped? It's helped everyone in the midfield, because that VSC came out. It was too late for the front runners to come into the pit stops, and now these guys effectively is getting a free pit stop there. Gameaholic, Tigamy, it's a Gameaholic, despite that stop and go that he picked up. He is looking in a very strong position now as the Cyberman. He's able to sneak that one under VSC there, and Tigamy, who must have had a wing change, because he dropped back obviously after a spin. So V5 pitted, he didn't quite get that now as they get back underway here. And Larkin now even further behind. As look at the 2 Haas drivers, interestingly, Energetics somehow close right up onto the back of his teammate.
So we'll join the Haas at the front just to see if Energetics, who has got DRS, so he's going for this. Energetics looks like he's going to push shots around the track if he has to, but they've come through the final couple of corners now. There's hard braking there, but they sweep round. And into this hard left-hander. Sweeps round to the right and then back again to the right. The 2 Haas drivers are pushing each other and they are extending the gap to the Force Indias behind. As Jos is into the pit, so Energetics takes the race lead.
So Jos now into the pits he goes, and where is he going to come out relative to some of those guys that tried to undercut onto the VSC? So he's pitting very early and he must be putting on the soft tyres for a one-stop strategy here in this race. But interestingly, as Energetics was following his teammate, he's put on the Ultras as Jos. Oh no, that's going to be so tough for him to bring himself to the end of the race. Sebster picks up a penalty running through turn 1. Jos is going to come out. He's going to come out very close to the Gameaholic actually. There's not going to be much in it at all there. Jos exits the pits, but the Cyber is much closer than he was before there. These 2 Force Indias still doing battle here for P2 and 3, and you know how in Monza they were trying to avoid battling. A couple of laps go side by side for half the lap. These guys just going at it. Energetic, so seems like he is in a very good position there. But I feel like there has been a strategic mistake by Yoss. He is going to struggle so much to get to the end of the race. And it's Gameaholic who's in a golden position here, as is his teammate Euron Hagdius actually. Actually, no, he hasn't pitted yet. I thought he had for a second. Excuse me. So coming down the main straight there, and you can see now Jekyll, he's in overtake mode. He's got the DRS. He has a little look at his teammate, bumps him slightly in the braking zone. Sevi gets caught out a little bit by that there. He's got Sebster on the back of him as well. So now Energetics, I'm expecting him to be pitting on this lap. No, he stays. Oh no, he got a very late dive into the pit lane. Is he going to put on those softs? Is he going to put on the ultras? That's the question on my lips. We're going to see Energetics, a race leader, into the pits. Larkin it is that stays out.
So the Force India's Williams and the Renault of Sebs to stay on track. The Hypers must be on the verge of going now. So we may see the others who are around Jekyll all on the Hypers tuck in, but Jekyll's in a fantastic position at the minute, but he is on the attack of Larkin, his teammate. Larkin with the finishing streak, the point streak, as I think Energetic's still just about to come out. He's coming out behind Yoss, so that could be a big move. And he's also gone on the ultras, so there must be a plan to stop. I mean, it's going to be a big struggle to get to the end, but the Haas, both of them take the ultras and not on the soft. So I think that's a interesting decision we'll have to keep an eye on, especially with regards to what Larkin decides to do when he comes into the pits. Is he going to fit the softs and go to the end? But the Force Indias do battle again. Jekyll, Gameaholic, picks up a 3-second penalty, but Jekyll on the attack, as you touched on in Singapore. It was very tactical, helped each other around the track. But this time it is not the same instance, they are attacking each other. Sevi doing well in third. Just sitting back a little bit now, I think, just settling in for the race. It's early, we've had 3 DNFs already. As the move could be made here, round the outside, no! Larkin says not today and holds position, but now it's side by side. Jekyll does have a good position here, and Jekyll does get in front of Larkin, but Larkin trying to respond. Is anyone going to duck into the pits? So the Force Indians stay out. Sevi and Sebster do tuck into the pits, so you keep an eye, damned if you could, on seeing what tyres they go on to. I'll stay on board with this battle between the Force Indians. So Larkin has a look down the inside of Jekyll, trying to get the right position for next corner. Larkin retakes the lead, he's on the Hypers, Jekyll on the Ultras. As they come through, Yoss does the fastest lap, 1:34.7. But the Force India separated by 1/10 of a second. They are wing to wing here as a sweep round to the left hand side. And a very bold move here from Jekyll, trying to go around the outside of that. That is a very risky one. V5 goes fastest on a 1:34.5. How did the pits go for Sevi and Sebster?
Both of them on the ultra soft. These guys now, since the pit on lap 8, it is actually more achievable than it was for the Haas drivers to make that strategy work. Got Energetics though, he almost runs into the back of Gameaholic, picks up a penalty on the back of the Sauber. Now I think Gameaholic has been very wise with his strategy here. He's on the softs and he can try and take those to the end of the race, but he runs wide coming out of turn 5. I believe that's going to put Energetics on the inside. Doesn't take a lot of apex speed though, does the Haas. So he continues the fight. Around they go there. My apology, it was actually your own Hagdius he was fighting, as Gameaholic has dropped back there as Jekyll tries to pressurise his teammate, and Larkin staying out so long, he is going to be struggling for temps and where, I reckon. If he doesn't pit this lap, then I don't know when he's going to pit, and there he is. Into the pits comes the Force India. Jekyll, for the first time in this race, is released, and I'll be expecting him to go deep into this race.
So join Larkin's pit stop. The Sauber's doing battle in 6th and 7th, and that is an interesting little fight that is developing there. Jeroen Hagenes did pit early, pitted on lap 2, I believe, so he's done 8 laps on the softs. He's got a long way to go. Yoss has got ahead of the Force Indians though. He's opened up a gap to Energetics as well, so Yoss driving fantastically so far, but Larkin also puts the ultras on. So let's just join the Saubers doing battle again. Gameaholic and Euron. And they sweep down. I thought there was going to be a little dive bomb there, but very, very respectable driving from both Gameaholic and Euron. Both on the softs as well, so if there is another pit stop, they will be going to the faster tyres, or do they try and manage it to the end? Tiggerby, 3-second penalty. So that is going to affect the Ferrari driver, who He's just slipped down ever since he took that damage where he lost his front wing from contact. So he's into 11th position at the minute. He has got the soft fit, so could be going to the end. Larkin has emerged in P8, and he is behind Sevi. So Sevi's got the jump on Larkin.
Yeah, Larkin's staying out very long, but he has gone very low risk on the strategy by staying out that long. I believe he can take those ultras to the end, just about there. So the two Cybers still right together on the track. As we've got the top two, Jaco and Willow Wolves running about 5.5 seconds apart on the track. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of a strategy these guys are going to go for. Because Jaco, he can stay out longer, try and put on the hypers, or he can pit early, try and put on the softs. If I were him, I'd try and stretch it to have a hyper run at the end and just be absolutely rapid, as is Willow Wolves. But these guys now have got Yoss closing in. He's within 3 seconds as they go around now. The top 3 and now the top 4 on to lap 11 of this race. Yoss, despite having a penalty, I believe, he is controlling this race. He does seem to have the pace over the rest of the field. And now we've got Sevi. He's going to have to try and get past this Sauber obstacle of Jeroen Hagnius. There he moves up, almost looking. He goes to the inside now, and the Sauber almost chops across him, but he's able to see him last minute through onto the inside. Late braking from Jeroen, but he can't quite make it around the outside. Now, Larkin and Sebs are now chasing down. V5 behind him, but he's on 6 at lap, old ultras. If he's able to take those to the end, that would be a remarkable bit of tyre conservation from him. As I think Tecabe, despite being down in 11th right now, he can still move up in this race. He is on the soft, so he is going to be going to the end. And obviously, despite spinning earlier on, he's got a lot of the midfield runners in his sight. So I wouldn't rule out Tecabe just yet. As now, Willow Wolves looks like he's going to be under pressure from Mr. Eos Heinz as the Haas driver closes in.
So we join this battle you just touched upon there with the Red Bull and the Haas Yoss on the attack, trying to get past Willow as soon as he can, just so he's not backed up into his teammate who is just shy of 5 seconds behind. So Yoss has done really well managing that gap and extending it to the point that he has. Larkin gets ahead of Jeroen. Is that what you're at?
No, I'm actually watching Yoss getting very close to Willow, and he gets through, but he picks up a penalty as he does make that move, so that's very unfortunate for him. Jeroen now, he's now got Sebster. He's got non-stop action as the Sauber. Got under pressure from these guys that have pitted earlier than him in this midfield area. So it looks like Larkin, as he said that, he does hit the fastest lap of the race. He is chasing down that Williams of Seviasti. But speaking of him, he moves up to the outside of Gameaholic down in the turn 1. I don't think that the Sauber driver is going to be able to fight this too hard. Late braking from Sevi. He's able to move through up into P5 on track, and he can be on for a very solid podium there. He's about 6 seconds of energetics, these two Haas drivers controlling it from the front, as we've got Yoss still running around in the net lead of this race, closing in on Jaco. But Sevi able to pick his way past Gameaholic, and that's going to be a decent buffer to that Force India of Larkin. But you've got to remember, Larkin does have a lap pressure tyres. He's going to be trying to bear down on him as Sebster now moves on the inside of Jeroen Hagnius. They're going through. Oh, he tries to make a bit of contact. The Sauber off the track. They've got V5 swarming. He moves for a move on the inside of Sebster. Forces him off the track there slightly. They're going to still go wheel to wheel, going down onto the back straight there. They make a bit more contact onto the curb and off the track slightly. Goes. These guys running parallel behind the Sauberman as they go down now into the third sector. Sebster just about able to get in front, swaps out to the outside. Can he get through? On the Sauber, gets forced that way. The Toro Rosso of V5 gets up and alongside him there. Hasn't been able to get past. They come together again. These guys racing very, very aggressively with each other. Around the outside goes V5, almost off the track. Sebster just about able to hold off the possession. That was fantastic from those two.
It's a huge battle just developing here. And that is where Sebster does want to get past, like I said, 8 laps fresher tyres. But he now will get DRS on the straight, chasing Jeroen. So this is his chance now to get past and get back up into the fight ahead. So Sebster moves up into 8th. Will Jeroen make the move? He has a look. He's thought against it just at the last second. But he's spun out! And V5, and that is the end for Hagnius.
Oh no, what's happened there? It looked like there was a bit of contact between the Toro Rosso and the Sauber. Tegabe's going to take advantage of that on the inside of V5. He doesn't leave him much space, and a bit of oversteer there. And I'm sure he was having flashbacks to his spin earlier on in the race. Got battles up and down the field there. Larkin closes in on Gale. It goes side by side the Ferrari and the Toro Rosso down into this section of corners on the inside. Goes Tigby, he's able to get through. I'm not sure if V5 picked up damage from that incident. Larkin's still chasing down Gameaholic. There's just battles galore here at the moment. Larkin eases up alongside and he is up into P6 on the track there in his pursuit of Seviasti. As we've got Energetics though, look at that gap between those two Haas drivers. It has come down, and speaking of gaps coming down, Yoss as well, chasing down that Force India of Jaco on those older Ultrasofts. Is he going to interfere with this league battle?
So implications all over the track. I think the weather's getting a little bit cloudy. You know, it'd be very exciting to see some rain, but for now we join V5 and Tiggerby as Willow comes into the pits. He's done 13 laps on the Ultras, but he has ducked in and is in the pit lane. Seb's up to 7th then, but we will keep an eye on V5 and Tiggerby doing battle. These two drove side by side, just a little bit of contact here and there, but they've kept it on the track, and now they will race. Tiggerby closes the gap with the DRS 8th. He's a bit low on ERS, he's only got 16%, so he's got to be very careful with how he rations this as he looks to make the move. Now look at Yoss. Yoss has closed the gap to 0.7. So let's see. 0.3. He is really on the attack, and the tyres must be on the way out. On the Ultra, he's done 13 laps. So I think J. Cole will be coming to the pits. But Yoss 0.2 behind. He's got DRS. Just needs to stick his car out, and he should be able to make the move as he does just down the inside here. And unless Jekyll fancies a move, which he doesn't, he's going to settle there. Yoss takes the lead. Energetics just creep over 3 seconds behind this battle. But Yoss in the Haas resumes his first position. And I imagine Jekyll now will be coming to the pits. But let's just quickly nip down to V5 and Tiggerby. V5 with the DRS. Can't quite get past. He has on the softer tyre of the two. Tiggerby has got the soft fitted. As we've got yellows in sector 3.
Ooh.
Is it Gameaholic? It is Gameaholic.
That's Gameaholic. Gameaholic spins then this number 64 Sauber round at the beginning of the third sector. I'm not sure it was contact with another car, but he is getting in the way of Tiggerby now behind him. And the Gameaholic was on for a very strong result here with some of these guys that in 4th, 5th, 6th that could have had to pit, especially those two Haas drivers as well. That you can't forget that. Those two Haas drivers on very old tyres as Tiggerby rounds his way past their easy move on Gameaholic. Tiggerby is another driver. He's less than 5 seconds off of Sebster. He can still be a factor up for some of the higher positions. But yeah, both Tiggerby and V5 getting past Gameaholic, who must have cooked his tyres in that incident. And we've got two drivers that are a bit quieter races. Willow Wolves able to move his way past Jabo. He goes wide at turn 2 and picks up a penalty. But the next driver to challenge Jaco is Energetics. Won the last 2 races. He has 1 less penalty than his teammate up ahead, so he is going to be charging down on Jaco. Yellows in sector 1. I'm not sure what's going on there. And Jabo's actually out of the race, so he must have been some contact maybe with another car as Energetics around the outside. Jaco's going to get a bit of a squeezing treatment, and now around the outside he tries to go, gets forced onto the car of Energetics, able to get through. Yoss picks up another penalty. That is so crucial, and I think now that's going to put Energetics once again in the driving seat to win this race as Jaco pits.
So Tiggerby and V5 do make contact. Oh, just under the brake in there. So Tiggerby and V5 having a very physical battle. Only 11 runners left, 5 have DNF'd. So this is a very physical race so far. But yeah, Jaco in the pits. Where will he emerge? He's fitted the hypers. Do you think he can go to the end of the race?
Oh, that is a tall order for Jaco. I think he was intending to take those ultras a little bit longer. Gameaholic picks up another penalty as the B5 and Tiggerby both moves past Jaco. So you're seeing Tiggerby is beginning to move forward in this race. He moves aggressively to the inside of V5, who tried to cover the line. Couldn't quite do it successfully. Down the inside goes the Ferrari. He gets a bit of oversteer on the exit at turn 2 into turn 3 now. He's got V5 pressuring. He's on the inside around this beautiful long left-hander, I do have to say. And V5 able to take these plays back. These guys duke away there. Of course, both of them relative newcomers to this league, and they're showing how clean they can race. These guys going at it there. Jaco has emerged just in front of Gameaholic.
So Larkin starting to make a bit of progress towards the back of Sevi. 0.5 the second. He has picked up DRS. We're on lap 16 of 27. Lots of action so far. A few talking points. We've got 5 DNFs, 11 runners still racing. As Tiggerby gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So as you say, this is his debut. A little bit scrappy, but he is in the points. It's a good stance to be in right now. So we join Larkin, the championship leader. And Energetics will be cutting into that lead, definitely. He's got just less than 2 seconds to Jos. So there is a sniff of first place as well, because Jos has picked up a couple of penalties. But we join now Larkin. Let's get on board. DRS is going to be open now. And he's right under the rear wing of the Williams. Moves to the inside. And the move is done. Larkin into third. Sevi unable to respond, but now Sevi will try and get the runners to sweep round to the left hand side. Larkin holds the inside of the sweeping left and cuts across the front of Sevi. So Larkin is into third, is on the podium as it stands. Willow has made a move up into 10th. That is because Tiggerby's pitted and has put the hypers on. So J. Cole is one driver to keep an eye on. He has got the hypers on. He's going to have to manage those tyres. He's got to do 10 more laps on them to get to the end of the race. It's going to be a bit of a tall ask for the Force India driver, but he will continue to fight. Do you think the Ultras can go to the end? You know, another 10 laps on them, and we saw that they seem to really fall off the cliff about 13, 14 laps. So I think the top 6, I think there's every chance that they will be ducking into the pits again and fitting the hypers and going on full attack mode. Sebster just a little bit further back down the track will join Sevi and Larkin. Sevi has not let Larkin escape his clutches and continues to pressure the Force India driver. Brake a bit late there, but kept the car clean, kept it on the line, and they chase each other now to the penultimate few corners. Just keep an eye on J. Cole. He has caught the back of V5, so J. Cole has a chance just to gain a position here and move up into 6th place. But we will keep on board with this battle here now. Sevi a little bit further down the track from Larkin, as Tiggerby gets another 3-second penalty again for multiple warnings. J. Cole is up into 6th place ahead of V5 and sets the fastest lap in doing so, 1:33.6. It's a fantastic lap.
I think that's going to worry that Renault of Sebster is running in a very solid P5 there, and he's seeing J. Cole saying that fastest lap despite making an overtake. He knows that the pressure is coming. But as you touched on with these ultra soft tyres, there's certainly people like V5 and Shape who are on very old ultras. I can't see them going to the end of the race, and I'm not sure any of the top 5 will be able to get through. These guys are all going to be very tight, because if you remember with J. Cole, I believe after about 15-16 laps, those tyres were done and he had to pit. And so these ultra softs maybe not lasting as long as they hope. So I hope that these drivers, for their sake, are taking it easy and just trying to get to the end of the race. Energetics continuing to chip away, and his teammate's advantage, he does have a lap pressure tyres, but Larkin in P3 has 2 lap pressure tyres in Energetics. So if one person is going to avoid the pain and suffering of those, well, just destroyed ultra softs, it is going to be Larkin, and he's just got to keep on managing them. Sevi right behind, and is that a little bit of rain I see?
I was just going to say, yeah, it is starting to rain. So coming into the last 8 or 9 laps, this could be thrown out, and that might be why they went onto the Ultras. They might have known there was just a little bit of rain forecast, and everyone will have to duck in onto the Inters if it gets a little bit heavier. But it is raining at the Sochi Autodrome, so this is going to throw some more curveballs that way, especially on the older tyres, which are now just going to become like little bits of ice on the edges of the cars. They're going to be skidding a little bit all over. But Sevi is on the attack of Larkin. Sevi has not let him escape from when he got past, and he is now taking the fight to the Force India driver, the championship leader, looking to make it 16 races in a row finishing, and he's finishing the points every single race. That is one heck of a record for the A1 League. But Energetics 1.2 behind Jos. He is chipping away 1.1. So just keep an eye on the fight ahead with the Haasers. Energetics looks like he's starting to make just a little bit of progress in the chase of Jos, who has the race lead. But Sevi is just falling just a little bit behind now, behind Larkin. I think the tyres are starting to feel the pressure, the bit of the wear. And I think it's just settling just a little bit now before, well, if it rains heavier, There's going to be a huge influx of cars into the pit lane, but for now it does seem to settle. So with just a few laps to go, Tamd, who are you reckoning could hold out for the win?
Well, I hate to be a bit boring here, but Energetics once again is just being at the front, and he's out of all the front guys, he's the one that's able to just stay out of trouble, which wasn't really the case for him until these last few races. Until we started streaming, and we seem to be about a good luck charm for him here. He has got DRS on his teammate now, trying to close in on his teammate going down into turn one. And of course, the good thing for these guys now that in terms of ERS management, because they have to get on the brakes more because it's raining, they do have more ERS to save. And I'm watching Energetics, he and Yoss, both of them having to lift off through the long turn 3. And these are the tricky conditions, because it's definitely not ready for enters, but it's a greasy track, and these guys are going to have to be careful. And this is where the drivers that are just able to stay clean and consistent, they're going to really shine through here.
So Game and Shape have pitted, so will they be throwing their cards on the table and chucking the intermediate tyres on as everyone else continues to fight the way round the track? Yeah, Shape fits the inters. And it's be interesting to see what Gameaholic does, as Tiggerby also throws himself into the pits. So I can see Shapes put the inters on. Gameaholic has now put the inters on. So Gameaholic also moves on to the treaded tyres. But we'll continue to watch this fight between the Haas drivers at the front. Just got to be so careful. It's such a greasy surface at the minute. Energetics and Yoss creeping through the last few corners here as we come through. Now, will they make a move into the pits, because they'll end up double stacking if that's the case?
Well, DRS disabled, that's usually the call for the switchover point, and yes, both of them are going to pit. That's a mistake potentially from Energetics. He is going to have to stack behind his teammate. Both of them avoid speeding. And now, Energetics, from going from being in a position to win the race, he's going to be way back, and he could be falling into the clutches of Larkin now. Well, as the Force India goes into the pits, Sevi picks up a time penalty when he was entering, so I think he can probably get that removed, because, I mean, obviously the game is thinking that he's cut the penultimate corner. He's probably run a bit wide coming through the pit lane. Yeah, so unfortunate for Sevi, but these guys now fitting the enters. Energetics has had to wait. Where is Larkin? With respect to the Haas, he's got him in sight. Here comes Larkin, these two championship rivals, just a couple of seconds apart now. Is anyone going to try and brave it out and stay out? Doesn't look like it, but we were wondering why these guys were pitting onto the ultras instead of the softs, and I think we've just got our answers. Here they come now. A busy pit lane there, as we saw last time out in Singapore. Just like a lot of cars jostling about there. Jaco emerges in P5 there, and yeah, it would have been fun to see someone go out that started on the softs and just be able to go all the way to the end of go all the way to the rain with the soft tires. That would have been a very bold strategy call. But now Yoss has got, in effect, a 3-second lead over his teammate. So Energetics is going to have to get his head down. But with Larkin in hot pursuit, and I'm just going to have a check, Larkin does not have a penalty. So the Force India man looks set to potentially extend his championship lead.
So this is coming down to one heck of a final part of this session. So with 6 laps to go, and now the rain is thrown another curveball for the drivers, but Larkin chasing his title rival. I think Energetics is very much in the fight. Like you said, we are a bit of a lucky charm for him with back-to-back wins, and he's got a sniff. He might need a bit of assistance here and there, but as Larkin has kept this clean and without a penalty, I think Larkin could be extending the championship advantage here as they sweep around the last couple of corners. Now V5 moved just less than a second behind Sebster, so V5 may be making the first move, as is Willow. Willow chasing Shape. 11 drivers still on track. So Willow just having a little look at Shape now. 0.4 of a second is the gap. Oh, I've got to be very careful under braking. Shape quite slow to get away, but Willow read the situation ahead and is picking up just a little bit of time as they come round the final few corners. V5, that's another one to keep an eye on. 0.5 is the gap to Sebster. So Sebster, who's only got 10 points all season, looking to improve that tally so far. Currently in P6. But we'll stay with Willow. So Willow gonna have a look at shape as they come around the Red Bull chasing the frog. Got yellows in sector 1. And it's Sebster. The commentator's curse. I do apologise.
Oh.
But Sebster has spun it, but he keeps P7. So just luckily that he was ahead there. But Willow coming around now with shape. 0.2 is the gap. Just opens up a little bit to 0.3. So this is great defending from shape. Managing his ERS well. It was playing into Gameaholic's hands now. Gameaholic chipping away heavily at the lead. Now Larkin 1.3 behind Energetics, so he's closing the gap a little bit, and Yoss is opening the gap to Energetics. So Energetics might be struggling a little bit with his setup here. It's now a wet track. Yoss, another 3-second penalty. That is interesting. That is going to play into the driver's hands. And Larkin, he may be feeling a chance of a win here.
I have to agree with you on that. I'm actually going to check with Yoss. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. That's 12 seconds. And Larkin, he is 11.3 seconds off the lead. Larkin, just by keeping it on the track, has got a real sniff at this. As you said, he's got a great chance of taking the race victory now. And that would be so crucial for his championship hopes. He might not know it, despite he probably thinks he's well off the lead and not having a chance of winning this. He has got a real serious chance of taking out the win. Energetics might want to play the team game maybe and try and hold up that charging Force India behind him. Larkin is known in the league as a massive, just a master of wit, and it's showing through here. But yeah, that penalty for Yoss. It's just so unnecessary. He didn't have to push, and Energetics runs away, picks up a penalty. That's going to put Larkin even more in the forefront for this race now.
So both the Haas's having a bit of a scrappy race, picking up penalties. So Larkin now, if he keeps this clean as shape, picks up 3 seconds. If Larkin keeps this clean, there's every chance that this race is his. And he'll be extending the gap, especially with 5 races to go. This is big for the championship as Willow and Gameaholic now side by side. They are doing battle. 0.2 is the gap. And Willow just can't make the move on Gameaholic. Gameaholic defending valiantly, but now he's going to come under intense pressure from the Red Bull driver. Looks down the inside of the side by side, and the Sauber keeps in front again. Well, it was 0.1. It's just opened up to half a second, so that's a very good exit on that curve for Gameaholic. Larkin 0.8 behind Energetics. So the Force India on the prowl. He could settle for 3rd, but look at the gap. So Yoss has a 12 seconds total penalty, and the gap is just shy of 10.9. So Yoss needs a second. I don't know if he's listening to the stream, but he needs to push if he wants to keep that. But by pushing, he may get another penalty, and that will just effectively end his hopes today. Let's join Larkin. So Larkin on the charge, chasing the Haas drivers, who are currently 1 and 2 after locking out the front row in qualifying. J-Cole has, in the other Force India, gained 4 positions, so he's having a good drive, falling a little bit behind his teammate, but you know, all things considered, from where he's starting in 9, this is a good result. He's going to gain some points. But Larkin coming to the back now of Energetics. As he said, he's a master in the rain. Can he keep that Force India going? Can he keep his point streak going? As he sweeps round. I'm going to hand it over to Tams just to cover this battle between Larkin and Energetics.
Larkin is going to be tense at the wheel of that Force India because he has 2 warnings so far this race. He doesn't have a penalty, but 2 warnings. And that means that 1 more off-track excursion will be a penalty, and it will hand the net lead of this race back over to Yoss. So there is still hope for that Haas driver yet. And Energetics now, I don't know if they're in a communication with each other, because Energetics seems to be kind of just, I don't know, is he holding up Larkin? Is he doing this on purpose? I'm not sure. Anyway, because Larkin now right on the back of him as they exit now the final corner. Larkin goes all over the curve. That could have been in a worst case scenario, a penalty for him. Now he's in the slipstream though. There's no DRS assisting him, but he has got a good run on the Haas driver. Energetics, he's going to defend, surely. He moves across into the middle of the road. Larkin goes aggressive down the inside, late on the brakes though. Energetics just about able to hold on.
So this is lap 25 and 27. At the end of this, there's only 2 laps left. This is coming down to a huge finale as Energetics holds position. Ooh, Larkin had to be very careful there. But now, after a good exit, he's peaks the slipstream, just moves out of it. Just having a look at the road ahead. Pressure is on, and as you said, Larkin's going to be very tense. There's a lot riding on this race. He's got his point streak, he's got his championship lead, he's got the race win in sight, but the gap is now 11.5. So Jos just needs to open another half a second. Energetics could be helping his teammate here. I think there may be some team tactics going on as Larkin just runs just so close to clipping the front wing. This is anyone's race really. Could it be Larkin? Could it be Jos? Could it even be Energetics? Who knows what's going to happen? Sebster picks up another 3-second penalty. Gamerholic is at the back of Shape a bit further down, but will stay on board here. Tiggerby gets a penalty, will stay on board with Larkin. 0.4 is the gap to Energetics. You can see how close the drivers are together. The gap is now 11.8. They've got yellows in sector 1. It's cleared.
Oh, it's the Ferrari of Tiggerby spun coming down towards turn 3. But he was out of the points, unfortunately, so we're going to turn our attention to this battle for P2. Energetics doing his teammate. Well, he's working wonders for his teammate. Now, that gap is almost there now to 11 to 12 seconds, that crucial mark with just 2 laps to go in this race. Now, Larkin, he's closing in on the Haas driver. Has a little look into turn 1, maybe trying to put the championship contender off as they exit there. Of course, Jos isn't really in this championship fight. He's P6 in the standings, so really... he's not really affected. Look at how slow Energetic is on turn 3. Larkin's going to go for it on the inside. Has he just done it? Energetic doesn't leave in the space, and they make contact. That could be disastrous for Larkin. Because my opinion on this stuff, but I don't think he left the space. I don't think he was expecting that Force India to dive in, because I think Larkin is just really, really frustrated at this stage, and now it's really Jos's race to lose at this point now.
So yeah, we saw the coming together of the cars as Larkin runs very deep, but he keeps the car going. So Larkin will be livid behind that helmet in the Force India, as it seems to let the race, it just pulls away from him. But he's going to move down the inside of Energetics, will Energetics give him the room? Larkin makes the move. Energetics not giving up the fight. Tiggerby's retired from the session, so they've got 10 drivers left. They are side by side, Energetics and Larkin. Huge implications. Larkin seems to have got the move. Energetics was twitching there, coming round. Is he going to allow him the space to come back in? It's a bit more contact. This is so close. But this is playing into Jos's hands. Willow picks up a 3-second penalty. This is playing into Jos's hands now. He has got to keep it clean at the front. Finish this lap clean, and the win is yours. And Energetics and Larkin, the title contenders, are now 2nd and 3rd, but to switch positions as Larkin starts to pull away from Energetics. Can the Haas driver respond, or is he going to settle for the position? But you have to have a look at Sevi's penalties. If Energetics finishes here, will Sevi jump into 3rd?
Sevi has 1 penalty there, a 3-second penalty. Energetics has 2 penalties, so Sevi could be looking at a podium. Drivers just looks like thanks to such hard racing, fierce racing between the Force India and the Haas. That was a pleasure to watch. These guys fighting for the championship. They just went at it. But it has cost Larkin a chance of winning this race by the looks of things. So unless Jos picks up a penalty, he's just got to keep it clean there, and he could be on for this one now. Of course, Energetic stacking behind his teammate. Maybe a strategic error for him. That could have cost him a chance of winning this race. But really, I don't think anyone's driven a perfect race. But really, Jos now, he has been, apart from potentially Energetics, I think he has had the best outright paces. The rain is actually easing off as well towards the end. Jos, though, just going to stay on board with him now. He rounds. He's just got 2 more corners to negotiate to take the win in the Russian Grand Prix.
And we're on board with Jos now, just coming through the last corner. keep this clean, and the win is his, and he does, and he takes the win in the Haas. But we'll join Larkin. Energetics still doing battle. Larkin has just opened the gap. The Energetics now has accepted where he is, but Sevi could be on the podium in the Williams. So Larkin crosses second, Energetics third. Keep an eye on Sevi. Can he jump? And Sevi gets onto the podium. So the Williams driver of Sevi takes third, Energetics fourth. So Larkin's opening the gap again to Energetics. And by not racing, Vettel and Harry now have got a fight on if they want to win this championship. J. Cole comes fifth. V5 is second race and another points finish in sixth place. Sebster in the Renault. He's got 10 points this season, so this is going to be another chunk of points on top of them as he comes round now onto the final corner and takes P7. Shape and Gamerholic both still back, wing to wing, as they come round the final corner in 8th and 9th, and then Willow in the Red Bull will round off the race, end the Grand Prix in P10. What a race! I think that's the three words I have to describe this event that we have just seen.
Wow. Just non-stop action, tense racing, tense gaps with the penalties. It just had everything, really. Just a transition of conditions. Wow.
So yeah,
that was incredible.
Yeah, I have to think as well, just as we thought it couldn't get any better, we had the wet weather, it threw everything up in the air, lots of cars ducking into the pits, we had the double stack that could have affected the chances of Energetics for the win. But Jos takes the victory and Larkin extends his gap, so we'll just do the classified finishes. Obviously anything could go to the stewards. We've seen a bit of contact today as well, so I think maybe a few inquiries, but Larkin and V5 kept it clean. So Jos takes the win from Larkin, Sevi rounds the podium off, Energetics 4th, J. Cole, V5, Shape and Sebster run 5th to 8th, Willow 9th, Gamerholic 10th, Tiggerby on his debut does finish, he doesn't finish, he came 11th but DNF'd. Jarbo 12th, Jeroen Hagenes 13th, Rodriguez 14th, Extrema 15th, and Evolution after that first 100 metres taken out and straight into the wall. That was the end of the Red Bulls race. So, yeah, huge implications at the top of the title. Larkin extends his gap, but Energetics does move into second place. So the Haas driver becomes the closest contender. What was your highlight of the race today?
You're pressing me hard for that. There's too much to think about, to be honest. I think that last battle between Energetics and Larkin was something to watch. Those guys, you could tell like how frustrated they both were. They were just going at it. There was so much side by side, some collisions, changeable conditions. I mean, that race, I don't think you could ask for a much better race, to be honest. That was just outstanding.
I'm in full agreement, and I think it's right that we've got next week off so we can catch our breath, have a little small break. So we will see you in a couple of weeks' time for the next race, 8 o'clock on Sunday the 24th. I have been Valley3791, he has been Tam23. Thank you very much for joining this A1 race on the PS4, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, and good night.